Hi, I'm Kris from Theme Park to Table, cooking up theme park recipes here in my kitchen. Today we're going to continue our 12 days of theme park treats. Today we're working on day 11. It comes to you from the Ganachery in Disney Springs, and we're working on Peppermint Bark. If you want to join me over here by the stove, I have a pot of boiling water, very exciting, and I have a bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're just going to make ourselves a little double boiler by putting the chocolate chips on top of the boiling water. When you do this, you want to be very careful that the bottom of your bowl doesn't actually touch the top of the water level. And then essentially we're going to sit here and we're going to stir these chocolate chips until they melt. So this is probably going to take a few minutes to go. We're going to see if they start melting quickly. If not, what I'll probably do is I'll probably cut away and meet you back here when they're melted, because I'm not going to make you sit here and watch chocolate melt. That doesn't seem very exciting. Okay, so they're starting to melt. They're starting to stick to the sides a little bit. Basically, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to stir these chips until they're fully melted, and I'll see you back here when they're nice and smooth. Welcome back. Our dark chocolate is nice and melted, and I've stirred it until it's got a nice shine to it. I hope you guys can see that in the camera, that it's nice and shiny. I'm just going to take my bowl very carefully back over here. Set that down because the bottom of the bowl is very warm. And then we're just going to very carefully pick up the bowl, and we're going to just dump the chocolate right into the center of our baking sheet that is covered with parchment paper. Try to give it a good scrape. We want to do this fairly quickly. You don't want the chocolate really setting up beforehand. And of course, because it's me, I'm going to fling the chocolate everywhere. And just kind of hold down a corner, and you're going to kind of just spread it out. The parchment paper will make it easier in the end. It'll let you just kind of pull this right off so you can crumble it up like a bark. While you're spreading, it's going to make things a little wiggly, but what you're looking for is just a nice, even layer. Shape doesn't matter because you're going to break it up like a bark. So if you've got yourself in a regular little amiibo blob, that's perfectly fine. You are going to be putting another layer of chocolate on top, so you do want this layer to be fairly thin. Otherwise, instead of chocolate bark, you're going to have a chocolate brick. So that looks just about good. So where we are now, this chocolate has to go and it has to cool, preferably in a cool place. It's probably going to take about an hour for it to set up. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with some white chocolate. I'm going to melt it over a double boiler and get it ready. So I will meet you back here when this chocolate is set, and I'll have white chocolate melted and ready to go, and we'll put the finishing touches on this bark. So I'll see you back here in about an hour. Welcome back. So our dark chocolate layer has set up. I have our white chocolate, which I just finished melting. To that, I'm going to add some peppermint extract. Not a lot because that stuff is super potent. I'm going to give it a mix in. Get it all kind of mixed around and blended throughout. Then we're going to take our white and we're going to put it on top of our dark. Get as much of it scraped out as we can before that dark starts seizing up our white. I'm going to kind of hold it in place. And we're going to spread the white to cover the dark, moving a little bit quickly because the dark is going to start melting because this is very warm. If I was to make this again, I'd probably let my white chocolate sit for maybe a couple of minutes just so it's not quite as hot and wouldn't melt the dark quite as fast as it is, but that's okay. It's still going to taste delicious. Let me get that over here. Remember, you're going to break this into pieces too, so if you've got little end pieces that aren't fully covered, in the end it's not going to matter. Then we're going to take some crushed peppermint candy, and we're going to sprinkle it on while our chocolate is still warm, so it'll all kind of sit down into it. I want to get a nice even coat. So there's peppermint for everybody. And then I'm going to very quickly just kind of pat it. I'm hoping that this will help it stick into the chocolate. So when we go to break it, we don't lose all the peppermint everywhere. Okay, so we've made it to this point. Now we're going to have to set this aside again. We have to let the white chocolate set up. And I'll meet you back here one more time before we break it up. And you can see what it looks like when it's all finished. So I'll see you back here probably in another hour or so. Welcome back. Our peppermint bark is all set up. So it's all ready for us just to kind of crack into pieces. I'm going to kind of grab it through the parchment paper if I can. A little bit. I'm trying not to melt it with my hands. So it is, ooh, nice and thick. And I want to see if we can get this into some bite-sized pieces. Moving a little quickly. My hands are warm. And I don't want to remelt it again after all that setting time. That'd be a shame. Okay, so we're going to stop there. We're going to put a little bit of this on a tray so you can see what it looks like. I will break up the rest of it off camera. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me snap every last inch of it. Move this to the side. We'll get this. Oh. We'll move this front and center. And there you have it. The peppermint bark from the Ganachery at Disney Springs. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.